Hey everyone, it's Dick from Traders Reborn. Before we start, if you find value in this video and like what we're doing here, please subscribe and like. Alright, today we will be recapping today's we hit a banger trade with the team here, 300 plus tick. It was on NQ futures. So we did call this out on Discord. I was just looking on my phone. I saw, usually I don't even trade during this hour, but I did open my phone and I saw a setup. It looks so good. So I went ahead and did a call out in our group live chat, and I wasn't gonna take the trade. I was just gonna give it to the team, but when I saw it, it just looked too perfect. So I went ahead and hopped on, someone's laptop, and I traded on their laptop. I wasn't able to record it, but we have everything going on in the chat. So whoever that entered the trade, we took it the first trim at around 160 ticks at the halfway point, and the other half we pretty much took it all the way down to our final target of 300 ticks. So it was a good, pretty much an 80-90 point move on NQ. Super banger. Um, so pretty much we've been working on following the plan and holding to the target. So we're gonna start off here by just reasons why I took the trade, and explain it and break it down. Okay. So this whole morning right here, um, this
Do we have any
move
morning setups?
morning setups. I'm gonna start actually trying to go away from trading the morning opening bell. Lately, it's just been too volatile. The wicks and stop loss has been too wide. So I think what I'm gonna do going forward is I'll just be charting with you guys. Just kind of looking for setups. Doesn't matter what happens during the first, morning 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Just let it kind of cool down, right? Um, you know, I I've had um really good success with the opening bell lately, even back in options. But I think that the risk to reward for the volatility isn't really worth it anymore, right? It's like sure I can hit a banger move like this banger move right here and short it. But the problem is while it's moving down, it's not usually not a clean move. It's just doing this, the whole time, and it's just can easily wick you out, right? So honestly, it's just not worth it. Like I can find another trade like this. Let's say like right here, you see, or like right here, you see, you know. Like I don't need the first one where it's gonna just kick me out through volatility, right? You know, it's just yeah. I just find that it was more risk. I was risking more of my capital playing that time. So I think I'm gonna just start charting and just looking for a potential setup. That way we can just take those setups and hit one or two trades in the morning and everybody call it a day.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So, just I'm just trying to minimize the amount of trades I'm taking, more quality, and less paper cuts, right? Playing in the morning, opening bell play, those tend to get paper cut if it's not going your way. So anyways, there was a lot of wicks right here as you can see throughout the mornings, just craziness, same BS since it is triple witching week, right? Um so, a lot of paper cuts was happening, and I stopped trading around 8:30, right around here. So around about I would say 10 o'clock, I was kind of looking for at I was just looking at the charts since some of the members were still trading. I saw they were trading, so I just kind of chimed in a little bit, seeing how they're doing, checking in on them. And at one point, I saw the rejection right here under VWAP, right? And I saw that this was a break of structure right here. Um, yeah, so at the moment when I saw that break of structure, right, this uptrend coming up, and with how it's not able to break previous high, right? It's getting rejected. Triple top right there, right? Broke a structure right here.
How do you
So when it
define break a structure, Dick?
So this is how you would draw the trend line, right? You would obviously draw this trend line, right? Break a structure was one right here, you see,
Oh, so trend
right?
line break is break a structure.
Yeah, break a structure. The structure is a uptrend. See, here's another one. You see, right? It's happening multiple times now. And then this one was this one, you know, right around there. You want touches, right? So about at least three touches on these wicks or body. One, two, right? One, two, three. Right? So trend lines, right? Anything that's a trend that is a pattern has to come in three, right? After three, it is considered a pattern, right? Doing anything three times is now a pattern. If you kill three times, you're a serial killer, right?
Oh, so you mean touching the touch 3 times of the trend line?
Three, three,
Okay.
three. What I'm saying is, don't be drawing trend lines if it's just here. Okay, this is not a trend line yet. You see, this is not a trend line
Yeah.
yet. But once
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
touches, this net is now a trend line. So that's a good guideline. Anything that just in life, in general with anything, not just stocks. Three times is a pattern, right? It's considered a pattern if you're doing something three times three times with the same thing. So in this case, three times. Look, this one touched multiple times, many times. No question about it. One, two, three, four. Right here. See, plenty of touches.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Some people draw it with the body. Some people draw with the trend. I mean, with the wicks. It's up to you how you want to draw it. But the most important thing is when you're playing trend lines. Trend lines, a lot of amateurs and people that are just starting out. They think trend lines are like magic. It's like they can just draw like this. And then they'll just draw like this, right? And they'll play it instantly. Like the moment it breaks right here, they'll hop in. They'll hop in, right? Let's say the moment it breaks, that's the first thing they look for. Trend line break, you know. But playing trend lines, using trend lines, you gotta use it with a confluence of price levels. Different things that align and confirm your play, right? So you can't just because it broke the trend line, you're gonna enter. So confluence, when everyone you hear all these guys talking about confluence. Confluence is basically just more confirmations. That's what the confluences are. More confirmations of that play, right? So in this case, right, let's say for this example, in this first break right here, is going up, 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 up. So here's the rejection, right? Here's the break right here, right? And then here's also under VWAP. That's three confluence right there. You see, all right? And on top of it, yeah. So there's three confluence right there. That's a good enough trade, to take. You obviously the more confluence the better, right? But three's a good start. So right there below around 84, 85, I would take that short down. And my first trim level would probably be right around here at the 45 line. You see where I drew it? Because it's been reacting there before. It's reacted here a few times already. So I would take my first trim there, maybe my full TP, but depending on how price action works, right? So if it does start waking up like and showing support, I would take the whole thing, which is kind of what happened here, right? So that's what happened there. That's why that move worked. I wasn't around for that, so I didn't play that. I didn't take that trade. And here's another one, same exact thing, you know, same exact thing, right? Same thing, you see? No different, right? We're looking at the exact same setup. Take a look at this huge candle, one confluence, right? Hold on. Yeah, so right here, Same exact thing, guys. Confluence here, rejection, break the structure again, and the VWAP and the price level. Right there. Same exact setup, guys. Nothing different. Targeting this level again, right? These would be nice scalps right here. You know, this one went a little lower, so had I held a runner, it could go past that. But um, so and then here's the third one. Same exact setup, guys. Almost the same, not exactly, but this one went a little higher, right? So this one was something like this. I had the trend line drawn, right?
Put
And
the tip from the high of the day to the low of day at that point. I'm curious if it lines
what?
up, Dick.
What do you want? What
From
do
the
you
high
want?
of day at 6:30 to the low of day at 8:30. Put the fib.
No, that one. This is a wrong fib. I would have to draw like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Bah! Bah!
What?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, yeah. So here's well, we're gonna talk about fib and how to use it and all that in another video. But this is yeah. So this is how you would be drawing the fib, right? There's another confluence right there. But the thing about confluence, with the fib, is that the fibs usually line up with the supply and demand area, which it did right here. You see, right?
For the first two trades, that fib was different. The fib was the low of day was at 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
remember?
See, so this
Which
fib
like
would only work when it's moving up. As it's moving up, I would draw the fib from here to here.
put put it to 7 o'clock and let's see where those first two shorts what percentage that would have been. The
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock and the
Yeah.
6:30, yeah, right there. Because that was the
Hmm.
fib at that point.
Oh shit, sorry. Draw it from the bottom to the top.
Okay, yeah.
So see, so that
See,
one not so much aligned, It's not so much aligned, right? So, this one, but regardless, all you need to know is that if it stays below the 50% fib, you're good to short, That's all you need to know. 38% is obviously the tip top. That's what 38% is. The tip top, the best average. If it passes 38%, that trade's done. That trade's no longer valid. So almost almost hit it. Um. Okay, so this is where I spotted it on my phone. I looked at my phone and I saw, look, some of the guys, I think they were playing long or something. I don't remember. But all I know is this is what happened. I sent them a screenshot on my Thinkorswim app right here. As you can see, same exact drawing, you see, right? But at that time, I didn't draw um, a supply yet. So, but I had the line right here, the orange line matched up.
the
And I
orange
told
line.
everybody, it's breaker structure, guys. Wait for the retest of near highs to enter short if rejected. And then we went on some
What's the orange
nonsense.
line?
Huh?
What's the orange line?
The orange line is just the weekly. It's a 2021
Oh,
daily.
okay,
It's
daily.
just a large level that I had
And then
from
the
hmm?
supply zone. Where was the supply zone from?
Supply zone. This is a 15-minute supply zone, as you can see right here. I labeled it 15-minute supply, and this
Oh,
supply is basically circling this area.
where did that supply zone come from?
Of the 15-minute right here, 15-minute.
Oh, where?
You see right here. Take a look from
Okay,
from
but
this candle.
that, didn't that happen after the fact?
Yeah, so that happened after the fact. That's the reason why when I just drew that now earlier, just to kind of show you guys how the levels lined up. But in
Oh,
the picture,
so at
you
the
see,
time
I
of the
didn't
trade,
have
it
that.
wasn't.
You see, in the picture, I didn't
Yeah,
have that on my Thinkorswim.
so at the time of the trade, there's no supply zone.
At the time of the trade, yeah, this level wasn't here.
It became
So,
a supply zone. Got it.
well, it became a supply zone. Yeah, once it started, a little bit after.
Made, yeah, made the
Yeah,
move.
yeah. So before that, this is what I saw on my phone. Exactly what I saw. You know. So I told everybody, here you go, banger opportunity. Here you go. Banger opportunity, size small because the target's gonna be large and wide. Good stop loss is 422. The reason why I told them that stop loss was because based on this picture, as you can see, I had a level right there, the yellow line. That's the 15420, which is 15420 is above this supply. You see, and it was right here, right around this area. You see, 416. So I wanted to give it a little space because there was some sellers around 420. So I told everybody just get give it a little space. 22. I like to give my stop loss just a couple dollars, $2 to $3 above what I originally want to stop out at, just
Oh
in
wait,
case it for the wicks.
the level you got it from basically the rejection in intraday, 1420.
Yes, pretty much right here. You see highs,
Okay.
highs, highs.
And then there
Yeah,
was limit orders that you said also.
yeah. I remember there was orders on Bookmap before I left the house. And that was where they were at. Right? And as you can see, we could not reclaim highs. We rejected. Um, so we rejected. Once we got rejection, this is the play that I sent out. Right? During that time, it looked like this. It looked like this, right? It was just kind of going sideways. It didn't even have the drop yet. So, I told everybody good stop loss. TP 15345. The reason why I said 15345 is because this level right here. See, we have not been able to break that, right? We've been holding
It's
support
like
there.
was it like a demand zone kind of a short-term demand zone?
Yeah, it's a short-term demand zone, but it's also been, it's been kind of bouncing off of that. So I'm
Right.
gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
set the TP there, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's
Nice,
my
nice.
T. What?
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's my first TP there, and this TP right here is about 160 ticks already. The first TP. So right off the bat, our stop loss is, around 15,422 because our entry would be around 85, right? 85, right around here. Right? Stop loss is up here. So we're risking about 80 ticks on this play to lose. But our gain, our first TP is already at 160 ticks. So our first TP is at 1 to 2 ratio, our risk to reward already. So
Mm.
just trimming off of that, we're already good. The final TP is all the way down here. The reason why I chose 15,310 instead of these levels right here is because it's close enough for me. And on the other hand, I like to take profit at whole numbers, right? And I like to take profit before, a little bit before the rejection level or the support. Just because once price gets close to there, it starts acting a little funny. It starts twitching. It starts, trying to pull people back. It's trying to, trying to shake people out right before the final, the price level that everyone's interested in. So, um, let's see here. Yeah, so anywhere around this area right here, we was looking at it, and then I said, "There's your short entry around 15,400 rejection. Stay below that for entry, which is right around here. This is where I told them break a structure, and then it rejected right there. See, right below the 400 level. That's when I alerted them, and then I told them I'm gonna trade, guys. I'm gonna log in from my mentee's laptop. This trade setup looking bomb. I couldn't resist myself. um. Damn, I miss. I was gonna go on live, but I couldn't go on live, so I'm just gonna buy, set, and forget. No entry. I'm gonna set a limit order. So after that, it started bouncing around right here. VWAP, VWAP, VWAP. I didn't really enter yet, and then when I entered was here. Yeah. So pretty much, I saw this kind of consolidation right here, and at the time there was no supply. Remember, I'll just delete it so you guys can see what I saw. So at the time, you know, now it broke structure. That's one confluence, right? This is another confluence right here. when it just rejected, it kept rejecting. It won't, it would not close on the 5 minute above the VWAP, right? So I went ahead and took my entry around 85 or 84, somewhere around there. Um, and pretty much I went, I made sure no one was gonna miss this because I was gonna. I told them right here, rejection, where set a sell limit, banger opportunity, size small because the targets are wide. So I told them, find your best entry because I wasn't gonna be able to babysit anyone or guide them with my voice because I didn't have the chart. I wasn't gonna be able to watch the chart. So I told them, stop loss, TP1, final TP, and just find your best entry. You know, that's the play. Only do one con because I know some of them are on 50K accounts. Um, so if it hits, it hits. Set and forget, right?
On the VWAP, uh, with the VWAP as a resistance.
Yeah. So as you can see right here, I told everyone. Let's see here. I told everyone here around 95 is good entry, even 85 rejection. But I want good entry since I'm not gonna be watching it. I'm gonna do start it at 85 rejection. So right around there. Look, this play is already playing out. At the time, take a look. It's already dropping to see that 15360. It already dropped down to that level already very quickly. Yeah. So as you can see, this is where we were kind of at right here, right? I'm gonna match up with my chart, my chatting here. Um, let's see if I can do this. Oh, that's the smallest I can do. Okay. So at the time, so here we go. We entered the play. One of our members, going off the hooks here. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. What is that? Is that a game? That's from a game, right?
Give me the loot, give me the loot, give me the
Give me
loot,
the
give me the
loot.
loot, give
Give
me
me
the
the
loot.
loot. It's from it's like a cheat code from a game back in the days. Yeah, so give me the loot. Give me the loot. He's already in it, obviously. I'm not scalping this, so I can't watch the charts. Set and forget. There we go. Loot, baby. Let's go, baby. Right? So, one of our members, he's more of a scalper. Bounce area here, which is, they believe at the time was at 60, around here, right around here, somewhere around here. But, he was scalped. So during this whole trade, he was scalping while we held one trade through, right? Yeah, so as it's dropping here, I think it dropped to about, I believe, 60 before it popped off again. Another 15 points up. That's about 60 ticks that, he had to give back, right? So, during this time, yeah. So, during this time, right, it bounced on him, and right there where that candle was, it kind of got him a little worried. And I posted this again just to make sure, and no one's missing it because now that was another re-entry right here, right? Since it came back up, it was another re-entry for whoever that wanted to join in on the fun. So I made sure, I told everyone this is a big stop loss, right? So, but our TP is about 200 to 300 plus ticks. So if you watch my position sizing recording recap the other day that I posted, you're gonna size down on plays like this, and your R is gonna play out, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be a really big R. So, I told him, yeah. So this is nonsense here. Look at this guy here. If this plays out, I'll hit 3.5K, $3,500, right? And then, as you can see, right after that, right after his little mini panic attack,
Huh.
it rejected, right
Panic
there.
attack.
Right there, perfectly, right? So this is kind of what you're seeing as I'm bringing you through the chat here as the action's going. You can literally see the emotions. Yeah. But so freedom here. He's missed it. Um, Okay, he's about to hit his daily quota here. Look at this one. This one hit target. So his first TP was at 45, right? So this is where it was at right here on this candle. It was at 46. Look how closely it was. So this is what I mean by when it comes close to a take profit level or target levels, it starts acting up a little bit. So right here, it was literally $1.50 away from his TP, right? It's 46.5 or even 46.25. It went all the way back up to 62, right? So you can imagine that's another 60 something ticks he gave back. Most people are happy taking 60 ticks, right? On a trade. But here, he's giving back 60 ticks, so that's why he had a little panic. And then, I just made sure, you know, um, so I believe 11:05 it already broke, right? Yeah, so 11:05 right here, it dropped all the way down. By that time, I said 200 ticks, but it was about 160 ticks, about 160 ticks on that drop. So, I remember here holding, sweating. Currently up 1800, but like that's the thing, man. Keith, he's been he's one of our members, and he's been doing really good on his working on his holding and following the plan lately. You know, I don't know honestly if he would hold through this without without like me and the support, of me pushing him to hold, right? I honestly don't know because prior to this, a lot of the members don't hold their trades, so that's what we've been working on is just holding our trade and following the plan, right? Um, but if you look at this is not even an easy price action to hold. You see, these are five
Yeah,
minute
it's
candles.
tough, man.
They're really choppy, wiki choppy. You're giving back 60 ticks every time. 60 ticks. Look at this one. This one is 55 to this is 80, 90 ticks. This is a 90 tick you had to give back right here on this candle. It's around 80 to 90 ticks right here. To see your trade go 90 ticks into profit and then to get all of it back, that's not an easy hold, right? So anyone that says this is an easy hold just because now you look at it in hindsight and it looks great, right? In hindsight, and sure, it looks really good to hold this, real good, right? But the emotions that you have during this trade, from being green to red to green to break even, it's a roller coaster, man. And at the time I didn't even draw this trend line, but regardless, this this is a hard move to hold. I don't care what anyone says. To give back 80 or 90 ticks on a pullback, that's not an easy hold, considering that most people collect at 40 ticks. You know, and so in order to hold this trade and follow your plan, you had to hold through these brutal pullbacks. You know, so during the time it was about what was it, right around here. So right, we didn't even hit his target yet. 45 did not hit yet. So this play, um, I think Bruno missed it. So I was telling him I made sure. I told Keith, you can always trim also when it's bouncing like that. So he had some issues with Edge Pro here. Yeah, so obviously stress was high during this time, and we were about here. Yeah, here's the butt clenching action that was happening. So I told everybody here under 345, you can start trimming at 320, 310. You know, depending on whoever that decides to hop in late. So and I told him here we can trim around 50 if it keeps showing support, right? Because it goes down and it comes up. See, this is 50 right here, right? It's been showing support, but right after that it breaks. TP one hit right here, which is right around here, this area. So that one just flushed right through, right? And here's another retracement. Let's just look at the retracement and look at this pullback here from 24 to 47. You know, what is that? That's like 90 to 100 ticks that you had to give up, right? So imagine someone in this trade to give back 100 of their ticks, just on that little
How do
candle.
you
See?
how do you decide where you want to put your stop?
So during this time, we're just trimming, right? So first TP just hit. That was our first TP. So because the first TP hit, personally, you can still keep it there. You don't even have to move your stop loss down yet. Because now you took that already, right? You took that profit already. So if price decides to do whatever it does, you're not gonna lose from this trade. This trade is gonna, you're gonna break even at the end of the day, or if you move your stop down to break even at that. And see, usually what happens is when you take TP1, right, you should move your stop down to break even. So around this area, right? But personally, I wouldn't move it down to this area. I would move it maybe to either here, like a tighter stop loss now, right? Because there's no way it's gonna go back all the way up there. I wouldn't let it happen like that, right? You either do that or you can put a tighter. So if you really want a tight stop loss, right? Which I didn't have intentions on this play at all. I wanted this play to hit the bottom, my final target. So I needed space for it to move, right? And I was prepared for price to go like this. I was prepared for it to go zigzagging like this, right? And even hit here, and then even go back here. I was okay with price if it was gonna do that, I was okay with that as long as the final target's here, right? This zigzag, I didn't, I was prepared for this price action to mess around with me before it hit the bottom. So that's the reason why I wouldn't want to make my stop loss that tight, right? I wanted up here, which is like, kind of near the break even, right? So if price was even to even shoot up here and stop me out, I wouldn't, I would still be okay because of what I took already here. I trimmed, right? But the analysis is to let it go down. That's following the plan, right? You can even put a stop here if you really want a tight stop, like right. You can put a stop here at opening print, which is where the wick was. There's many stops that you can do depending on how tight you want to do it, right? You can even put it here, you know. See, but I like to personally do like whole numbers, So if I'm gonna stop it like 50 right here, right? 50 right here, I would do it like around here. This is where the wick is. So, right, rejection area is right here, right? So around 60, I would do it like around 62, 63. I like to give it a $2 or $3 buffer. That would be my stop loss, easy. And it would have been okay, So, yeah, so once it passed here, I did expect this bounce up because that's what price action does. It goes down, right? And then it goes back up, right? And then that's exactly what it did, right? Broke down, back up on the green candle, and then down there. See? That's the expected move. You see? Did exactly that, right? Look at this. Down, come back up on that green candle, and then downwards. You know? So during this whole time, I believe once it broke 45 and collected, I told them to move. Once I got to check my phone, I told them to put stop loss at either 60 or 65, or I believe I said 50. I don't know. Let's see here. Here we go. And, aim for 20. Break, break. How many ticks? Stop loss right here. I told them 55 for a tight stop loss or 60. It's 200 ticks right now currently, right? This guy right here, stop loss is now at 65. It's still dropping, it's up 2K. Here you go. Someone decided to take a scalp long. um, so the current play is currently at, there you go, 250 ticks at this point at 1150. 1150 right here. Price dropped down to 24 now. Next target was at 20, right? So he's got one runner left. Next target's at 20. 20 is around right here. Look, it flushed right through it, right? And I told him 310 was our final TP, which is right here. But when I told him 310 was the final TP, what you want to do with that last runner is you always want to try to squeeze the last juice out of it. Gotta squeeze the juice, right? So I told him, um, I told him here on the last runner to just trail it. Basically, don't even have a TP, no target. You just keep trying to squeeze the most out of it, right? The reasoning behind that is because uh, let's just say your target's at 310. Once it hits 310, right, and it drops below that, you now put your stop loss around, 315, 316, something like that, right? Just so that you can give it a chance to go more. Because take a look, with this kind of momentum, it could potentially just drop down here and fill the rest of the area, right? But you want
If I
to
go with
just,
the structure
yeah, so it's actually inside of the demand,
and it's
right?
holding it at more trend line also.
Yeah. So when it went down here, right, 310 was right here. This is where you're supposed to, the final TP, but I like to keep my last runner and give it a chance to run, right? So ran down, you would move your stop, you would bring your stop right above that candle, right? Which is around 18. So you're giving back about $8, with this whole move, right? If it was to stop you out, you would have taken out around 318 versus 310. It's a pretty good risk to reward still. You're only giving back eight points, right? And look, it did technically run all the way down more. It did ran another 20 points. You see that? 30 points, another 30 points. Yeah. So TP was at 10, 310, 15310, and it ran another good amount. So with that kind of price action, right? The way you trail that last runner and you're trying to squeeze the juice out of it is the moment it breaks here, right? Let's say if it breaks 300, your stop loss is, once it goes back breaks 300, your stop loss is now at 310, right? Where your original TP is anyways. What are you losing here? You're not losing much. You literally was, your stop is currently at your final TP, you know? So anything more than that is just going to be more positive, right?
Right.
So, and then, let's say 300 breaks, 310 is your new stop loss. So once it went back below 290 here, right? 300 is now your stop loss. Move in 10 increments like that. Once it goes to 280 right here, 290 is your stop loss. You see? So from 310 to 290, you just got 20 more points out of that squeeze. You got an extra 80 ticks out of that little squeeze that I just did. You know? So that's the reason why you keep runners, right? And then you would have got stopped out at 290. 280 didn't work out, 290 would have got stopped you out. That's an extra 80 ticks that you just took from that last runner, you know? And yeah, so uh, yeah, so there you go. This guy was from down this much. Now he's up almost 2 grand for the day from being down. And then, I was just, what's that? And then,
Good stuff, man. Good to see.
yeah. And then here we go. When I asked them, when was the last time you guys have a 300 tick play and actually held it to follow the plan? You know, a lot of people can analyze this, make analysis and call out plays, right? And they answer, but what happens is they take the TP too short or they get shaken out. You know, that it's all about execution. A lot of people can call out plays, but how do you execute it and how do you manage it while you're in the trade? You know, and so that's why this trade right here was a pretty good one. You know, considering that we held it all the way through all this price action, giving back 80 to 90 ticks at a time, still held through everything. You know, there's not a lot of people out there, man, that will tell you, you know, hey, take this trade 300 ticks, but they actually hold it. So there you go, guys. Traders
Shit.
Reborn represent, and that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully you guys took some notes down about the breaker structure, trend line, and just adding it with the confluence combo. You gotta combo all your confirmations, guys. Anything, any trend, any strategy that you guys play, it all works, right? Everything works for different, and different traders have different strokes, right? What is it? Different strokes, different folks. Yeah. So regardless of whatever strategy you guys use, just make sure that you guys do use it with, um, in combination with other confluence. So mine was just rejection, 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 break of structure on the trend line. This is the trend line I'm talking about. You don't play just because it went underneath because you would get hit right here already. See? That one would have hit you on that wick. You gotta wait for it down. The body closed. You see? 5 minute close already. And then now we wait for it to go underneath VWAP. And here's more confluence. Look how many confluences there are for the downside. That's the reason why I saw that it was an A plus plus setup. This is my setup. This is my playbook. My playbook, I play a little bit of everything. I have a lot of plays in my playbook that are actually good, but the most notable, like noticeable ones, are breaker structures. I play this a lot. I catch myself, and I do notice that I do play breaker structure a lot. My eyes are just, it's been accustomed to these setups, so I see it very fast. And that's what it comes down to. Screen time. The more you trade, the more you look at these charts, the more you're gonna see that these same things happen over and over. And with more confluences, multiple confluences, and multiple confirmations, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more conviction in your plays. And I think that's what most people need for holding plays like this. You know, you don't get shaken out. I had other members that I was talking to. They were in the same trade as me during the same time, but he didn't take my calls, my call outs. He didn't, so he didn't even see the plan that I had. So when we were talking on the phone, he was explaining, basically he was just saying it was hard to hold. He couldn't hold it. He kept getting wicked out. And yeah, so you can see right here, these green candles are very big. They're like 90, 80, 96 pullback, So yeah, it's very hard to hold these. But I told him I had a plan. My stop loss, I gave it room to breathe. I gave the trade room, and that's the only reason why I stopped out. I mean, or that's the only reason why I didn't get stopped out, and it worked out. Because even if you try to use VWAP as a stop loss, that would have been a good way to keep a tight stop loss right there. All right, guys. So that's it. We'll wrap it up.
I like that. Good
Maybe
stuff,
next.
Dick. Good lessons.
Yeah, maybe next.
Thanks, man.
I don't know when, but we will probably make a supply and demand. Uh, Kind of like a guide on supply and demand. Try to get everybody to be on the same page about how to draw these levels, how to draw these supply and demands. Because I had one member. He actually he actually told me that he messaged me today actually, and he said he wanted to know how I drew supply and demand, because his levels, his supply and demand when he draws them, they just pretty much shoot right through it. You know, they're not showing a reaction, so they're not good levels. And I have a feeling he's just drawing on the lower time frame.
Ooh,
You know, but yeah, I'm gonna actually have him come on to a live with me, and then you're obviously welcome too. So that way, whoever that wants to join. But I want him on here because he's the one that's asking for it. So I told him, we can do a live. I'm gonna record it, and he can ask questions, and that way we can actually do it together, right?
do
So
it.
that way, because obviously, you see my supply and demand, they worked out really well. That's the reason why I targeted what I targeted. Um, Whereas his wasn't really working out. And I feel like I came across that issue before also on my journey, of trading, where I drew at a certain point I did draw bad supply and demand zones, and they didn't hold up, and I couldn't trust them. And when you can't trust your levels, you're not gonna be able to execute correctly. Yeah. So we're probably gonna have a video about supply and demand soon. Okay. All right,
Like
guys,
the
we're
video,
gonna wrap it up.
guys. Like the video.
Like the video, please, if you found value. Subscribe, and then we'll keep on trying to push out some content. Thank you, everybody. Good night.